Smoke 2 joints in the morning. We're the Spin Doctors with Rome. Welcome back to the show. It's part 2 of our 420 special, and we have decided to be, for this part, the Spin Doctors with Rome. The what's his name? Bradley Cooper? I think that's his name, right? Isn't he the guy from the
Bradley Rocket the Raccoon Cooper?
Yep. He's no longer here, so we've got Rome in spirit to bring to you the part 2 of our 420 special. If you listened to the part 1, you will know by now that we are going through the Rolling Stone article of the top 40 stoner albums of all time. On the last episode, we went through numbers 40 through 21. And so the plan on this episode is to hit the rest of them. Go ahead and...
Doing 20 through 17. Part 3. 16 through 15.
Part 72. The first 13 seconds of track 7. Just break. I mean, if you just keep subdividing by halves, it'll never actually get to 0, and we will have content for eternity.
Mm-hmm. And we'll keep getting listeners every week. Dude, I heard they might end it this week. I heard. No way, man. Okay.
Maybe that's our draw, is we threaten that we're going to end the show every week so that listeners have to. Oh, this might be the one, man.
Finally. Well, we will never stop.
No. And how could we stop? We're in the middle of a list. And so I don't want to belabor the point too much, but I mean, you know, I do want to hash things out a little bit. I mean, I've finally am going to start WandaVision.
Ooh, yeah. Nice. It's time.
I am so excited. I went through an entire Marvel rewatch.
Okay.
And now I'm going to start WandaVision so I can join society again.
There we go. And then you'll be ready to hop into the Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Right? Yeah, I hear it's good.
Oh, it's good. I just finished episode 4 recently. I'm a little behind. But,
it is crazy now that they are making TV like it used to be. Like it's a appointment television. Like it comes out once a week. You can't just binge it.
It's nice. It's retro, man.
Waiting is retro.
But you know, you do kind of forget like that with like the downfall of just like releasing a whole season. You know, it is fun, the anticipation of being like, oh man, like we gotta wait, and then you know, like they come out on Fridays and like your Thursday afternoon, you're like, oh no way, it's tomorrow. Oh.
Do you like watch them at midnight when they release?
No, I'm not on that level. I'm rarely even up at midnight, let alone. Yeah. But
we're old
first thing in the morning kind of guy. I like to eat
first
some breakfast.
First thing in the morning.
Yeah, eat some breakfast and watch it. That's what I'm about. Almost kind of like Saturday morning cartoons, recreating that.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Just made that a thing.
What was your favorite Saturday morning cartoon when you watched those?
First one that came to mind, I'm not 100% sure if this was Saturday mornings, but Digimon?
Oh,
Big
yeah,
Digimon,
I liked Digimon
guy. Animated Spider-Man. That was good.
That's my shit.
Power Rangers. Huge Power Rangers kid.
Captain Planet?
Here and there.
That's a resounding no.
It was, it was a little too...
Can you name the 5 elements that combine to make Captain Planet?
Let's see here. Fire, water, earth, air? Wait, no, these are last airbenders.
Yep.
And yet still correct. Wasn't there like moon? Moon,
that was it. Yep, the power of the moon.
Yes.
They went up to the moon, and all the little moon men, all the little Martian aliens that were running around, they gained all of their powers of slightly less gravity and spooky big eyes. And with their powers combined, Captain Planet and also Moon.
And yeah. not part of the planet, but whatever, guys.
Captain Celestial Bodies. That's what they called me in high school, Captain Celestial Bodies. Well, that's just because my body's as big as a galaxy.
Ba-da-ba-ta.
I am Galactus. I am inevitable. Just so many Marvel references in this episode. That's what it's going to be.
Yep.
But it is the 420 episode, so it should be.
It kind of goes hand in hand a little bit. I mean,
right?
Come on. Good Marvel movie when you're stony. It's great.
Oh man, there's nothing like it. Like I just said, I finished that Marvel rewatch, and so I finished Endgame last night and cried like a baby, like a tiny baby who has just been punched in the face by Iron Man. Cried like that. I am a big movie crier. And especially when I'm stoned, like, it unlocks your emotions.
Oh, of course, yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, yeah, end of definitely like the end of an era. I mean, like really, when you like, whenever they say like 10 years from like the start to like that point, it's like, really, wow, that's gnarly.
Yeah,
but yeah, and I mean, Robert Downey Jr. looks so young now in the first Iron Man.
Oh, I know,
it's crazy.
It's and then watching him because I binged them because I didn't have to Falcon and the Winter Soldier it. I just got to go one after another. I just watched him age before my eyes.
Yep.
It was like he had that Jack disease. He was just like getting super old super fast. Another movie to cry about. So we were talking on the last episode, if you haven't heard it, you should go back and listen to it, about, a lot of stony baloney stuff. And one of the things that we were talking about was naming our pieces.
Yes.
And I was telling you how I had a piece called The Dastardly Bastard, which was a giant, ridiculous thing that, of course, broke 6 months after I got it. Like, there was no way I could sustain it.
Yes.
It was like an elephant's ankles. Like, it was just this glass fucking thin thing with all this weight atop it, with these, 16-year-olds constantly throwing their dumb faces at it. Of course it was going to fall over. I don't have a piece that's named right now, but my bong does have letters on it. It's a branded bong. It says ZOB Zob. So I think that, like, if I was gonna name my bong, I'd probably name it Zob.
Ooh, like General Zob, like as like a Superman reference.
Yeah, yes, General Zob, not General Zod, but
General Zob.
I'd name it Lieutenant Zob. Your legs, Lieutenant Zob.
Oh my God, yes. See, there you go. And that's the beauty of the naming a piece, because you use what it reminds you of, letters, colors, all that kinds of stuff. My favorite Ginger Spencer texted me. I couldn't remember some names, so I had to text him, and he came back with a couple of good ones. He had a solid bubbler, and it was a perfect size too, because it wasn't too big. It was very Goldilocks. It wasn't too big, wasn't too small. It was just right, man. And that bubbler was called Bubbies. Not too great, but just like
named
Bubbies.
After your grandmother.
Right? Like, all right, let's get Bubbies. Yeah, time to go visit
put my lips
Bubbies.
on Bubby again.
Big mouth to mouth kisser, Bubbies. And then
Big mouth Bubby. Like, there's just like your grandmother on a plaque on the wall, and you press a button, and she leans forward and sings like "Swing Low, Sweet Chariot."
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, see, that's good. Shark Tank, come at us. But I at a point I had like a little 2-foot plastic bong, and it was green, and we called that the Green Lantern, because
nice.
It actually did look like a lantern a little bit, which I always wanted to kind of like install like a little handle and be like ooh, and then just start. Oh. But sadly that got broken. Was smoking at some friend's house one day in the backyard, heard the front door shut, parents home, so
oh no,
so had to bolt. Spencer and I, we hopped that fence like Jedi Knights, just front flip, just floop, and ran probably about like 5 to 7 blocks, got a call and be like, no, it's not her parents. It was the neighbor getting home. So classic Stoney, just super paranoid.
You heard a door like a house away, and we're like, that's it.
That's it. That's us. We're out. And then came back, and one of the girls who was holding the bong at the time panicked and just threw it on the ground and broke it. It's a plastic bong, which, mind you, that bong went through some shit, and I was very surprised that it broke because like it seemed indestructible.
Yeah, those plastic bongs were like notoriously you could beat a man with one of those.
Oh, totally. And then
which means she really threw the fuck out. She really Andy Samberg thing.
But at least she did make it up for it and did give me a cool little mini the Joker. Oh my god, it just fucking hit me. She gave me this small little glass bong, and it was purple glass with like green swirls on it. And Spencer and I were texting back and forth all night, being like, "What was it?" I remember hit me the Joker. Very big DC fan apparently when it came to naming my pieces. Don't know what that's about. Yeah, and that bong is famous because one day we were at Laguna Lake at our little secret hiding spot, and none of us brought water.
At Nagasaki or whatever the fuck you called it?
Okinawa. And since we're at Laguna Lake, we were at Neverland, out in the weeds.
Oh, sorry.
Watch out for Michael Jackson. Respect. But no one brought water, and so we had to do...
Roofie!
And then when it hits and you're hitting the ground, we had to fill the bong with Laguna Lake water, and
oh god,
it had to be done. We weren't gonna hit that shit dry, and like I remember like Spencer holding me from the back of the pants, and I'm just like leaning over like plank formation, just scooping up some water, and sad to say we became one with Laguna Lake that day.
Jesus Christ, that's incredible.
Probably used water that was been marinating a couple dead homeless bodies for a couple years.
Yeah, exactly.
Into our system. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do for love, man.
You take a hit out of your bong with lake water and you grow gills.
Please? Wait, can we guarantee that? Because I'm kind of down sometimes. Can I have both gills and lungs so that way I can like Aquaman that shit?
Yeah, isn't that what happens to Harry Potter in that? Doesn't he eat some weed that gives him gills?
Gillyweed?
Yeah,
I think it's gillyweed. Yeah.
That's the most horrifying part of that movie because he's just like
gnarly.
Like he falls in the water and then he's just like grabbing his neck and he's real body horror fucking Eli Roth
totally
shit.
Yeah, and I'm surprised J.K. threw that in there being so anti-trans. I mean, come on.
I know she doesn't. I'm surprised she let anybody transition into anything.
There was a teacher who taught transitions class, wasn't it? Is that McGonagall's forte? Is transforming yourself into who you really are?
It was kind of like RuPaul's Drag Race.
We got a parody sketch on our hands. McGonagall's Drag Race.
No, of course the most LGBTQ teacher was Professor Trelawney.
Oh my god, I was going to say that too.
Divinations teacher.
Yes.
Yep. She had a very like Indigo Girls vibe.
Mm-hmm. And very straightforward. She'll just like a lot of scarves and just telling you how it is.
Mm-hmm. It's funny that like when you like that kind of girl is also Steven Tyler from Aerosmith. Like Steven Tyler is also like an Indigo girl. It's just scarves and long hair and probably
the older
tea.
Steven Tyler gets, the less he is in Aerosmith and the more he's in Indigo Girls.
I mean, in all fairness, dude looks like a lady. Thank you very much. I've been Rick Storer.
Thank you very much. Good
Try
night.
the veal. Tip your waiter. We have fun here on Spin Doctors. Oh boy, howdy. Let's just get into it, Nick. I think it's time. You know, it's part 2. Mm-hmm. The people want to know what's next on the list. And this list is no exception to every other week. It is a hot list of some bangers. This is the top 20 stoner albums of all time.
Yes.
As compiled by Rolling Stone magazine. Historically, the most respected music magazine that has stolen their name from an existing band.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I don't know. It was always weird to me.
Looked into the essence of the name, the formation of the name.
Yeah. Though, I mean, in all fairness, we don't really have a lot of room to talk about stealing names from a band. Oh boy, yeah. We'll never.
Thank you. Good night.
So yeah, I think this list, the last list was a lot of very esoteric stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There was King Sunny Ade. I had never heard of him before. There was Beach House. I hadn't really listened to them. You had heard Beach House, but I didn't. I had no idea.
I was chilling. Yeah,
a lot of very very random stuff that I hadn't heard a lot. The top 20, very different situation.
Okay.
This really is the top 20. Like, they did not fuck this up.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, and it's not like every song I'm like, oh yeah, this one, and I knew every single one. But there were so many more that I was like, oh fuck yeah, this is a jam. And I think it's gonna be good. There are a couple songs that I will have to start later in the song.
Okay.
Because the first minute is like
stony.
Yeah, it's just too stony for even us, man. Too rolling stony. So let's go ahead. We're gonna take probably the earliest break we've ever taken. Real quick, run, get your stone on, because we're gonna get into this album. And then when we return, we will start with album number 20 on the Rolling Stones list of 40 greatest stoner albums of all time. We will see you when we return on Spin Doctors. Welcome back to the show. Ooh.
Bada bing, bada boom,
Hope
bada
you could join us for
bong.
one of those. I wonder. There's probably a lot of people who listen to the show who don't smoke weed, and I wonder if hearing a bong load is like as much of a trigger for people who don't smoke. Like, when I hear a bong load, I immediately go, nice.
Hell yeah, brother.
And
Or
I wonder
sister.
if they go, oh, fucking god damn it. Or I wonder if it's like a funny sound. I don't know.
Yeah. Or it might be the sound of knowing that they weren't allowed into that room at parties.
Oh. They just weren't cool enough to get high with everybody.
Exactly. It's like, oh, I don't smoke, but like always be like, oh, where is everyone in this room? You can just hear a lot of giggling, a lot of coughing.
Oh, I guess they're all in there. Okay. And then they're like too, socially awkward to knock on the door. Oh man, we're really taking a peek into my childhood.
Oh my god. And then always there was like the person who like maybe like didn't smoke that much, or like one of their first times hitting a bong, and then like the second, they would always know how to just milk the fuck out of it. It's like, okay, clear it now. Don't stop milking it like that. And then they would get a little bit and start coughing, and then everyone would be like, you gotta clear it, stale smoke, you can't let it get stale, man. It's like, I can't. And then someone, give it to me. Oh, yes.
And by that point, it's still a little stale, and you're like, fuck you, you asshole.
Like, oh man, God.
The worst is when they fill it up and then just blow it down, like blow down the stem, just get rid of it. Like, oh, it's not gonna be good anymore. You're just like, okay.
I want greens. I want freshies. Or that stuck-up stoner where it's like, hey man, you want to hit, and they kind of like finger their way through the bowls. Like, nah, I'm good. It's like, fuck you. There's plenty here.
In all honesty, that's kind of me. Like, I've been handed bowls that weren't up to my specifications. I was like,
I'll pass.
Hang on a
Pass it
second.
this
Or
way when
I've
it's
literally,
empty.
dude, I've honestly done this. I've dumped bowls out in my hand and like broken it up better and like fixed it and replayed it. I'm like, there, it's fucking. I fixed this for you.
Oh, got a little brown there. That golden nugget brown. Yeah, there it is.
Just look, hit the side of it, okay? Like, hold the lighter further away.
Yeah, okay, we'll
Just
split
little
the
things you
bowl.
pick up and-
I'll give you a little green on there, dude. You torched the whole thing, man. What the hell? You're supposed to go halvesies,
sorry,
just right
dude,
there.
whatever.
Sorry, bruh.
This is now just like an ASMR stoner conversation. This is just like for people to listen to who are still deeply in quarantine and miss hanging out and playing hacky sack with a bunch of idiots in a parking lot.
Man, I loved playing hacky sack before I smoked weed. I didn't know that I was like foreshadowing what my life was going to be. Wait, there's a way that this can be more fun? Because this is already sober is a blast. A lot of hacky sacks on the roof of San Luis Obispo High School of mine, by the way.
Just a scene of you hacky sacking and then a record scratch. This is me.
Oh, hey guys, didn't see you there.
I'm up here playing hacky sack and I'm not even stoned. Boy, I didn't even know what was about to happen. Let's catch back up. Hey, Nick, you want to hit this, man?
Directed by Quentin Tarantino. I'm keeping on that Tarantino, even from the last one.
Oh, my God. Let's do it. This is the, of course, list of top... We've gotten to the top 20 now. We'll just call it the top 20. Stoner
Top
albums
20.
of all time. And it starts with a bang, I gotta say. This is a track that I think everybody and their brother is probably familiar with, especially if your brother has long hair and a lot of angst and hangs out in his room, wears black a lot. He's probably a big fan of Black Sabbath.
Ooh, yes.
I was.
Gotta love the Sabbath.
Yes. And Paranoid is such a great album. It's, one of the most classic metal albums of all fucking time. Iron Man, War Pigs, and the title track, Paranoid, which is what I put on the list today.
Good choice. Yep.
I think so. I think sometimes when you smoke a little too much weed, you get a little paranoid. When
really it was just the neighbors coming home the whole time.
Exactly, dude. Funny, I don't know if it's funny, but interesting little tidbit about this album. This song was recorded in like half an hour. Like they wrote it in like so quick. It was not even originally supposed to be the single or anything. Mm-hmm. They just wrote it about the bassist Geezer Butler, about him being like a paranoid teenager, and it like started selling and getting popular as a single, and so the record company was like, all right, you have to change your name of your album to Paranoid now, because it was going to be War Pigs.
Fact. Man. Oh, damn, that's on this album too. Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh,
this
God.
album, I mean...
Yeah, such a freaking classic. And I feel like, especially like listening to this right now, it's just like, I feel like I'm like in the 70s, in the back of someone's Camaro, dirty, like bent joints getting passed around, and just like it's the first day Paranoid's out, and you're just like, hell, what is happening? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, dude. War Pigs, Paranoid, Planet Caravan, Iron Man, Electric Funeral, Hand of Doom, Rat Salad, and Fairies Wear Boots. All on this album. So
damn. Classic. Very classic.
And such a classic, like, stoner album, because, I mean, it was the 70s, man. That's when, like you said, driving around in a fucking Camaro with a dirty joint.
Yep. I'm sure that like, having that friend come over and they're, like, blaring Black Sabbath as they pull up, and your parents are like, nope, not the kid that plays Black Sabbath. He's not coming over. It's like, oh, come on. He always smells like cigarettes and weed and bad cologne.
And now parents are mad about WAP. Truly a different time. I'm honestly equally a fan of both things. I have both of these songs on my playlist. I get one of these days I will release this like apocryphal playlist that I always talk about. That's like, I've got all this crazy shit on it. It's a good one, I think.
It might be like,
it's certainly big.
It's like your Lost Bootleg album, where it's like, man, I've always heard about this playlist that he has, but I don't know if he's ever going to release it. He always says it's going to come out this year, but same with the Dr. Dre Detox album.
Ricky Storer's Infinite Playlist. Moving on to album 19. Here we have Augustus Pablo.
Oh, okay.
Another dub style, stony baloney, reggae tinged, chill out, instrumental, good fun time. It's produced by the same guy, Lee Scratch Perry, who produced some of the dub stuff on the last playlist, which if I knew more, I would reference, but I can't. This was one of the ones that like I listened to this album. I picked, or I went through each song and kind of listened to 10 or 15 seconds of each song in different places, and it was hard to pick one that I really felt very strongly about. But it's just, I think, good stony music that you would hear in like a head shop. You'd walk in and you'd smell Nag Champa and you would hear this song, East of the River Nile.
Oh.
It's got a cool little intro.
Oh. Man, a lot of like kind of sounds going on here.
Right? It's got that like dub like beat going on, 1, 2, 3, 4, like, and then it's got those cool stereophonic kind of things going on with the guitar and the keyboard. But this is just kind of like fun. He plays a melodica. That's his signature instrument, which is like a keyboard that you blow into.
Oh, that thing, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's badass.
But it's all like, this is if you like this, let me tell you about my favorite band, Fish. This is very like noodly and fun and like just something that you can get high and put on in the background, because it's gonna just really maintain that vibe, and you can just every once in a while kind of check in and hear some cool little like or like happening.
Like, damn, he's still on it. My God. Yeah, it's chill. It's nice. Not my favorite for sure, but it's nice. Throw nice little doozy, a woozy.
Like I said, it feels like a head shop song.
Mm-hmm. Oh, like, totally. You're just kind of grooving, cruising along. Gonna check out that one.
Inoffensive. There's no lyrics, so nobody can get mad about anything.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very good. And now switching completely differently to that, a song that is very lyrically not complex, but deep, and from one of my favorite bands of all time. The Talking Heads are number 18.
Love me some Talking Headies.
How do you feel about Talking Heads? Are you a big fan?
Oh, big fan. I'd go to the Talking Head shop as much as I could if there was one. No, I love Talking Heads. If this is what oh, okay, yeah. This album's good. Not my personal favorite. It's fine. I know it's high up there in the Talking Heads galaxy. Oeuvre. But
sure.
but they're good. They got such their own vibe, and I also love just how David Byrne doesn't sing. He just melodically says his lyrics.
Oh yeah. If you listen to their earlier stuff, like Talking Heads, like 77, that album has some where he is singing more, and he sounds like a robot singing. Like there's a song called "Don't Worry About the Government" off of 77, and he literally one of the lyrics is
he's like a couple steps below, like getting towards like the Count from Sesame Street, a character that we seem to keep referencing on this podcast, but just sometimes when he really hits like certain things, like, and I wonder
exactly. Yes, so this I'm not even talking about the song that we have on the playlist, but this from Talking Head 77, Don't Worry About the Government, it's literally just a song about his like a building. The chorus is, my building has every convenience. It's gonna make life easy for me. It's gonna be easy to get things done. I will relax along with my loved ones. Like, it's just about a building.
Yeah.
And the entire first verse is like, oh, I picked a building that I want to live in. That's the highway that goes to the building. I picked the building that I want to live in.
Oh, that's great. And
so much so that, like, they have an album called More Songs About Building and Food.
I was just going to say this. I love that. Now that makes even more sense. It's like, yep, more songs about buildings.
It's so funny. But
and that one
album
is one of my favorite Talking Heads albums. That's
is
one.
it? Yeah. Yes. Oh, that's the thing about Talking Heads is they have so many good songs that are divided up amongst so many different albums. Like 77 does have Psycho Killer as well, which is
gotta love it.
Prime Talking Heads. But Remain in Light is one of their most experimental albums. This album, are you like passingly familiar with this one?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, this is like full of some weird shit. But I think that this is probably the most like radio friendly song on this album.
Definitely.
And it is, of course, Once in a Lifetime. Fun fact about this album, Fish covered the entire album at a Halloween show. That's how I found out about this, because I knew, originally when I heard about Talking Heads, I knew Life During Wartime, Psycho Killer, like those kinds of things, and I wasn't familiar with Remain in Light. And then when I saw the Fish cover of it, I was like, oh my god, this is so amazing. And then going back and hearing the original, like, it's got a completely different vibe that covers can't capture.
Yeah, totally. And I worked with a DJ who once told me that like this was one of his like go-to songs at weddings.
Oh, really?
I was like, which I was like really surprised with. I was like, we're thinking about the same song, right? And he goes, it always goes down whenever I play with Once in a Lifetime. I was like, huh? And I never did it because I disagreed. I mean, it's a great song. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, okay, I usually go with "Yeah" by Usher, but you do you, man.
That's just like you have a CD that you put in that just has "Yeah" on repeat, or just alternates between "Yeah" and "Pony" by Genuine.
Ooh, boy, have you been to a couple of my weddings? Because you're doing my twofer special.
Oh my god!
Every time you play Pony at a wedding, it is like law. Sadly, where like now we have to bring the bride out onto the floor, sit her down in a chair, and let the groom give her some type of poor man's lap dance. Always happen every wedding, and also jackets come off. I mean, it's just it's to reference our former episode, is a very horny song.
Yes, it is. It is quite horny.
It's randy. It's shagadelic. It's all of it.
Yeah, it's really the Austin Powers of music. Because it makes me horny, baby.
Or is Austin Powers the Genuine of movies?
Oh my god. Truly, Austin Powers and Genuine are opposite sides of the same coin. Can we agree on that? Like,
correct.
Either way you flip that coin, you're gonna get sexy.
You're getting fucked.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. But it's either gonna be like toothsome and like hairy, or it's going to be oily and
a lot of candles,
dark, like, you know, in a dark room.
A lot of wax getting put on the bodies.
Yes, yeah. Pony is a song that you pour wax on your partner to. That would be such a good mixtape, songs to pour wax on your partner to.
Oh, and it's a double album with songs to love your cousin to. Another throwback to another episode.
That will be a future episode, is that we will do those two mixtapes.
Yes. Such a great gift to give like the spouse after like 20 years, 10 years of marriage or something, like for the anniversary. It's just the mixtape songs to pour hot wax on your partner to. It's like, honey,
she's just like looking at it like, you could have just asked. Like, that's how you get your partner to do things that you're interested in. Like, you just give them like songs to play with your partner's prostate to. Songs to lock me in a cage and feed me dog biscuits to.
Oh my god. Oh my. Honey, I think you're trying to tell me something.
Feet pics. Feet pics. Feet pics.
Boy, the liner notes on that thing, let me tell you.
Oh, boy. 17. We are at 17. This is a band that is so, like, deeply ingrained in European music and EDM, Kraftwerk.
Oh, yes, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
like, it's surprisingly old. Like, if this album was recorded in 77.
Okay.
And this, if you've never heard Kraftwerk before, Kraftwerk is like hip hop EDM, like jungle. It's craziness. Weird electronic shit. And it sounds like the future. And this was another one that was hard to pick one song from that I was like, oh, this is the one that I'll put on.
Yeah.
But I chose Showroom Dummies.
Okay. Oh man,
that's such like a old timey synth. It almost sounds like
I feel like we're going inside Tron right now.
Yes,
like where Daft Punk did the Tron soundtrack for the second one. Kraftwerk should have done it for the first one if they did it already.
Yeah, this is on the mix CD songs to ride your light bike to.
Or on the mixtape, songs to stay a virgin to.
Yes. Songs that restore your virginity.
You worried about getting laid, anyone? Put this soundtrack on.
But how weird is this?
This is very exactly so. Okay, so I did this show in San Jose a couple years ago with just bleep these names out, Aiden and Sal, and afterward, Aiden was like adamant about going to do another mic, and it was like, no, let's just go home. We're going back to slow, all this stuff. He was like, no, it's on the way. It was the opposite direction. We go there. We're now coming home super late, and it's like, all right, let's play some music, like keep us alive. And one of them put on a fucking Kraftwerk album, and sitting in the back of this car, his door wouldn't shut all the way, so the light would just stay on, and he didn't know there wasn't a switch to turn that like feature off. And so it's just this the fucking light in the car, and I had like a bunch of like lint rollers, and I just stuck like 50 lint rollers trying to cover it up, and then I had a black Sharpie back there, and I colored the lint rollers trying to block out the light, but it just like didn't do anything, and it made things more ominous. And just driving back at 11:30 at night from San Jose back to San Luis, just do 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 do, and just sitting there being like, oh my god, it's a weird thing. And as soon as this song started, I was back in that shitty car.
Immediately transported back.
Exactly.
Oh god.
Which then, I guess I have to finish this story. We stopped for gas at a certain point, and Aiden's door won't close. The driver's door won't close, and classic male mentality, he's like, yeah, it won't close, and like I go, let me try, and I just try to close it harder, and then Sal goes on like, let me try, and tries to just all of us just taking turns, can't get it to close. We're good like an hour and a half away from home, so Aiden takes
just a line of men, like you just recruited people from a hardware store.
Like, it's like, wait, let me try. Eventually Aiden takes his
like
belt
they're trying
off.
to pull the sword out of the stone. They're just like,
exactly. He takes his belt off and he loops it around his leg and the door handle inside to keep the door closed.
Oh my god.
And drives the rest of the way home and just freezing, just like you could just hear just the whole way. But thankfully,
the wind whipping the lint rollers off of the roof.
Exactly. But at least it was so loud with the wind I didn't have to listen to Kraftwerk anymore.
Hey, at least there's that. Thank God for small favors.
Yep. But
that's incredible. I think the last time that I was in a car with them was the time that we were driving back from Santa Barbara, and I randomly got super sick, and then we had to like pull over on the side of the freeway so I could throw up.
Oh no.
And then they're like, 2 minutes after we stopped, the cops just whoop, 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 right up on us. And
no.
Aiden was driving, and he hadn't, like, we weren't drunk or anything, like, we hadn't done anything. But I was having him drive because I was feeling sick. And so the cops, like, checked all of us, and they were like, all right, well, you're good to go, I guess. It was like, okay, thanks.
Oh my
so weird.
God. Oh.
All right, number 16. This was one that I had never heard of, never had anything, no expectations, no anything. And it's very strange. This is DJ Shadow.
Okay, yeah, the name sounds familiar.
This entire album is made out of samples. Like, it's complete samples and sound effects and little spoken word things. But it's very, it's almost like introspective music. Like, it's pretty cool. It's honestly something different than I usually listen to. And this is what does your soul look like, part 4. And there aren't other parts, I don't think. I think it was only the part 4.
I love it.
Oh no, there was part 1, but there's only part 1 and part 4.
Interesting. I like it.
But this is just some, like, chill. I think it's composed entirely out of samples, you know.
This is cool. Yeah, this is like what, like, sounds like what's playing in the dealer's house when you show up. Like, oh, what's up, guys? Like, everyone's a bunch of guys on the couch, just don't talk to anybody. Just keep it chill.
A lot of these songs are so vibe inducing. They seem like they are on not a soundtrack, but like a score for a movie.
Yeah, totally. Like walking through like a chill like nightclub, but everything's like in slow motion as you walk through.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, pretty cool. Like I said, not something that I generally listen to.
Yeah, very vibey.
Yeah, it's very, very chill, but something that I could see myself coming down off of drugs to or something.
That's true too. Yes.
All right, number 15. We have reached a band that I very much love again, and I think this is the first jam band that we've really had on here.
Oh,
and that's probably blasphemy to say that Allman Brothers Band is a jam band.
Hey, they're a jam band, yeah.
But they fucking jam, dude. They jammed. Yeah, Dickie Betts and Dwayne Allman. Some fucking guitar and motherfuckers.
Talk about it.
Yeah. And I had this song comes from the album Live at the Fillmore.
Classic album.
It's our first live song on here as well.
And that's some high praise to pit you're gonna pit Allman Brothers, but not even like an album, a live album, within the top 15. That's gotta be, those were some stony concerts. Let's be honest.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing with really good jam bands is the live concerts are better than the studio album. Yeah. Because they have, the song that you recognize, and then they will just go off on these flights of fancy where they play incredible music. You just get to see the showmanship at work, and you feel like the song breathe and grow, and it's amazing. And I think that, like, it's very, very indicative of stoner music, is that, like, it feels very alive. Man, I wish I had another cool word. Quintessential. That sounds good.
That's
this
a nice
is
one.
Whipping Post. I'll start this at 20 seconds. So good. I mean,
God.
Yeah, you can just feel it just growing. And Allman Brothers Band, oh man, just so formative for this style of music. Like, it was Southern rock, but in that jam style.
Yeah.
This song is 23 minutes long.
Oof. Classic. And you probably don't even feel... And you don't even mind with stuff like this, you know, where you're like, oh my god, it's a 23-minute song. It's like, just get into it. Just like, let it fill your bones, and you're gonna get lost.
And just the emotion in his voice and everything, like, this is, oh man, such a good band. And yeah, it's 23 minutes of just fucking, like, changing and morphing song, like, from the intro that, like, swing fucking bluesy southern rock stuff, to, like, just straight up, like, funk, to, like, bringing it down into almost ambient soundscape stuff, and then like pulling it back up, going through drum solos, back into just like craziness. It's so good, and all
together the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. And when you just can like smoke a bowl and sit there and take in a 23-minute piece of music, it's pretty life affirming, honestly.
Oh yeah,
like it's a good thing. Number 14, another classic, man. There's so many classics in here. This is Funkadelic.
Ooh, nice. I like to get a little funky.
Yes, yeah. Funkadelic is like black rock, acid funk craziness. Like, I love Funkadelic. And this was one where, like, I saw the album Maggot Brain, and I was like, oh, I know what song I would put on there, and so I did. You and your folks, me and my folks.
Okay.
Very chill and stony and groovy and funky. The funk in there, just that bass line. That guy's probably got a blunt hanging out of the corner of his mouth. On stage in some dark sunglasses.
Oh yeah, just staying on that groove. Oh damn,
so good.
I have nothing to say because it's just like I'm too busy dancing.
Exactly, like. There's nothing to say. It's just like powerful, fucking funky music.
Oh yeah.
That is it's, you know, 70s fucking funk and groove and good times. Like,
oh yeah.
That's probably the worst that we've ever done for describing a song.
Oh, totally. So
but
dancey.
What do you say about it, honestly?
God, just got that stank on there, and
it gives you that stink face. Like, your nose goes up and you go, like you just smelled something rotten.
Yeah. Oh, what's happening here? Someone's cooking.
All right, before we move on to 13, let's go ahead and take the second break of the show. And then I think that will leave us just enough time to hit another 7, take a break, and then hit the other 6 and get the fuck out of here. And we will see you in a very short like just the briefest time for you. Like, it's just a minuscule amount of time. Watch here, check it out. Watch this. And we are back. See, that was no time at all, was it? For us, we redesigned bathrooms, but for you, blink of an eye, right? Boom. And you are now ready to move on to album 13 on our list. We're really getting down there.
Top 10.
This is one of the cooler named albums that has been on our countdown. This is Spiritualized. Ladies and gentlemen, we are floating in space, which is just a cool name.
Whoa.
And the album is everything about this screams drugs, because it looks like a medicine bottle. Like, the album looks like a pill bottle.
Ooh.
it even says at the bottom, 1 tablet, 70 minutes. Like, and it's got very clinical text and everything, and it just looks like drugs. And this is a pretty cool, fuzzy, just layered piece of music right here. And I chose Cop Shoot Cop off of here. And this is a song that I'm going to start at 2 minutes in, because it's a 17 minutes long song, and the first 2 minutes are like, there's a little intro and it sounds like the song's going to start, and then it peters out, and then the actual song starts. So we're going to start where the actual song starts at 2 minutes. This is Spiritualized Cop Shoot Cop. And still, gave you a little intro.
Yeah. Ooh.
Just that bent guitar.
I feel like this is the start of the cop show.
Yeah. What a cool line. Hey man, there's a hole in my arm where all the money goes. How druggy is this?
Man, this is heavy. Wow.
Yeah.
And what's the band again?
Spiritualized.
Spiritualized. Wow.
Yeah.
I know nothing.
It's a British band.
Okay.
That I really don't know much about.
Yeah.
But
this is cool.
It's
how was the rest of the album when you're kind of going through it? Was it kind of like this, or?
It's different. This is pretty chill, especially this part of it, until the guitar comes in. Yeah. So it gets more like spacey, but also it has that fuzzy guitar. It's very cool, very cool.
That was cool.
This is number 12 on our countdown. A very, very famous artist, Brian Eno.
Ah, the Eno factor.
Yes. Famous. He's produced a lot of very cool stuff. He's worked with fucking every band,
Yeah.
He produced Talking Heads, Pink Floyd,
maybe some Bowie.
Much.
I can't confirm that. Don't
probably
retract.
most likely.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been working for fucking ever.
Yeah.
But he also makes his own music, because how can you just produce and not make music? You'd get all sorts of ideas and have to make something. And this album is from 1975. It's called Another Green World.
Man, a lot of 70s album here in the top 20.
I feel
Classic
like that's
time.
like that. Yeah, exactly. That was when stoner culture really took off. After like Reefer Madness had kind of subsided a little bit. And it was just like Woodstock had happened, the 60s had happened, and all the crazy experimentation with LSD and drugs had happened, and so people were now just like, I'm just gonna like smoke weed.
Chill,
also,
man.
civil rights,
Yep.
had some progress, so there were less people just being arrested for it all the fucking time. But still to this day, people are put in jail, incarcerated. Not rightly. This is All Come Running. Brian Eno is weird music.
Oh yes.
I'll be honest. This is like not. I don't dig this song.
Not. I mean, respect to him, but not a. Not a.
Yeah.
Eno.
It just sounds
Eno
like
fan.
a kid's song. And that's coming from somebody who listens to literal children's music. The tires are the things on your car that make contact with the road.
The Wiggles, produced by Brian Eno.
Yeah, for real. Like, but at the same time, this is also that HR Puff and Stuff era of psychedelic kid stuff. So like it all has that childlike wonder vibe to it.
I mean, this is pretty. So this is nice.
Yeah, it's nice. It's just nothing that I would like jam out to, really.
Oh yeah, if like something like, oh god, can you imagine? Like, can we go back in time? We're both in the 70s, and we get in the buddy's car, and about to light it up. He's like, oh dude, I got something to put on while we smoke this. Eno. You're like, no, we're with the Eno kid. I forget he always wants to put this album on.
God, I'm so sick of all this Eno music. All these fucking Eno bands.
I went through my Eno phase.
Yeah. But that song is one of the actual like songs on the album because it's also has like instrumental weird shit,
soundscapes, and
like zone out soundscape shit. It says in the article right here, it says, for Another Green World, Eno discovered a new psychedelia. Rarely has an album title been more appropriate. And that is kind of true. Like, it does feel like it's a different, like he's talking about a different world. It's so wondrous. And how do we follow such wondrous, childlike, innocent music? Why, there's no other way but with the Wu-Tang Clan.
Oh, yes. Here we go.
Number 11, baby. It's Enter the Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers.
Oh, yes. Great album.
I mean, fucking the RZA said it perfectly, the best. He said, you'll definitely like our shit more when you're high. Our shit is high music. Like, come on. And this album has fucking Cream, and it's got this track, which is, I mean, when you think of Wu-Tang, what are the 7 words that come to mind?
Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with.
Tiger style.
Oh, yes.
Tiger style. I love this, just like, it's all kung fu
cool.
fucking...
And then when it just drops in here, it's just so classic hip hop.
And then the beat kicks in.
A couple weeks ago,
Just classic fucking tough ass hip hop.
Yes, definitely. Oh, just bringing that fire. And I mean, talk about. I mean, obviously they all have their own solo career, but I mean, like a group of people who, like in any other rap group, would be the best rapper. But like all of them just like at the top of their game,
Dude, for real.
Just amazing. A couple weeks ago I was at work, and there was a little kid. He was wearing a jacket that just had like a hood and had little tiger stripes, and the hood had the ears and everything. And
Nice.
I just like, he was probably like, I don't know, like 7 years old, and I just kept calling him Tiger, and it was killing his parents. I was like, Tiger, what are we doing over here? And finally he won't look at me the whole time, and then he stops what he's doing and looks at me and he goes, my name is Henry. I was like, oh my god. And then one time when I brought his food, I was like, now I just got to be a big brother and just poke you more. And so I came over and I'm like, here's your spaghetti, tiger style. And his parents they're like, oh, tiger style. And I was like, we can't sing the rest of the words. He'll know when he's old enough to hear that song. And you let him know that day that annoying waiter kept calling him tiger style. Poor Henry.
And then his dad looks down at him and goes, eat up, son. Spaghetti ain't nothing to fuck with. And he goes, okay, sorry.
And then he ate it and I went, wham,
because that's how you eat tiger style. Oh, man. I almost chose Cream. Honestly, Cash Rules Everything Around Me is a much more stony jam. But with the kung fu sounds and the classicness of Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with, I was like, you immediately can just see 1993, all these fucking dudes in the studio just blaze out of their goddamn mind.
The amount
and
of
just
swishers
rapping
they went
so
through.
fucking hard.
God, yep.
Goddamn.
Yep, Dungy Studio. So like we're like one of those studios where you thought it was like an apartment building, and it is, but it's like they refurbished the laundry room into a studio.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's like, dude, where do you do your laundry? He's like, I don't need laundry, bro. I make beats.
I do my laundry at the 36 Chambers. Well, damn, where's that laundromat?
Right? If you got 36 chambers, you might as well make one of them into a laundromat.
They call it that because they have 36 washers and dryers. The 36 chambers.
36 top load chambers. Oh man, we've reached the top 10. We are at the top 10 greatest stoner albums of all time.
Ooh, Wu-Tang Clan ain't in the top 10. Might be debatable. Right? Wow.
Honestly, yes, debatable.
Wow.
That is a highly debatable point, especially given, I would say, maybe one of the things that is in the top 10 that I would prefer were in the top 15 instead.
Okay.
But I do think that this next, I think number 10 fits in here. I think that this is a Stony jam. I think it's a famously Stony jam. Like it's a famous song. It's a big song, and it's one that is indicative. When you think of this song, you immediately think of like weird sepia toned, like desert fucking weirdness. Like I just imagine a dude in a suit in a desert for some reason. And this is off of the album Mellow Gold, by a little guy called Beck.
Okay.
And this is, I mean, his most famous song probably, right? It's Loser.
Yeah, I put it highly up there, yeah.
I mean, this album is named after weed. Mellow Gold is a strain of weed.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a great mesh of genres here. A little bit of that twangy country, but then you got the hip hop beat, and he's basically white boy rapping. I mean, it's fun.
Yeah, and that like sitar in the background.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't listen to a lot of Beck. Whenever he comes on, I don't mind it. I saw him once; it was a great show. But
oh yeah,
it's good. I mean, this is a classic. Definitely a song that I always associate with. Like one of the Guitar Heroes or something. I remember.
Oh really?
One of those had this on here, and I killed it. As always, a lot of whammy bar on this one.
I played so much goddamn Guitar Hero.
Oh god, if we talk about like peak Stony days for me, it was smoking a blunt with the friends, and then we're all getting a Rock Band, because that was the best
Rock
part.
Band was the one.
Rock Band was like, all right, awesome, and then we had one friend who never wanted to like play any instruments or like anything, but the only thing he would be down for is to sing, and the only song that he would sing is Maps by the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. And you had this this like 21-year-old Persian man with a full beard just sitting on the couch with the microphone in one hand and a blunt in between the other fingers, going, "Wait, they don't love you like I love you. Wait, they don't love you." Just Nick, pass it. Oh my god. Rock Band.
I loved Rock Band. Yeah, that was honestly the peak of my Stony days too. Like when we talk about like what I used to do when I got high is because I was really good friends with my dealer, and so generally like a lot of times when you have a dealer, you just kind of want them to sell you your weed and fuck off.
Yep.
But a lot of times they come over and they like chill and they want to like smoke bowls with you and it's kind of a chore.
So it's always depends on the dealer, what kind of guy, or woman.
Absolutely. But this guy was like cool as fuck. So I'd go over to his house and we would just like hang out all day. And I was like 15 and they were like 22, 23. But we were just all really good friends, and we would play Rock Band. We would get super high and play Rock Band, and I was the only one that could play expert drums. Like, because I played drums at the time.
Yeah.
So like I could do it, and they all wanted to play expert guitar. And so we would play full band and all being on expert, and they would all switch off in, bass or guitar or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there fucking playing drums. Yeah. And it got to the point where that Say It Ain't So by Weezer is on there, and that song is so easy to play on drums that I had to sing and play drums at the same time just so that it was fun to do, because I got so sick of
oh man,
I was just
that's badass.
Yeah, that was fun.
Oh man,
I played that game too much. I was singing and playing guitar and shit.
Yes. I remember, of course, in a college apartment complex, the drumsticks were lost at some point, which then became we started using fucking wooden spatulas and kitchen utensils as drumsticks. And I remember one day, one of the guys, the neighbor, we're playing and everything, and he comes over, he goes, "Okay, game's over, dude. I gotta cook pasta," and took one of the spatulas and fucking went over. It's well, I guess we're done for the day.
That's where you just gotta move the whole system into the kitchen.
Exactly.
So you can just sit at the drums and play drums, and then use your hi-hat stick to stir the sauce every once in a while. Just flinging sauce all over your roof as you're hitting the cymbals. So good. Now that we've cracked into the top 10, we've got some pretty heady shit here.
I feel like we're gonna get some debates going now.
This is the one that I say should be in the top 15 instead of top 10, just because it's too obvious. Bob Marley and the Wailers.
Okay.
I mean, it's just so obvious. But at the same time, how could it not be in the top 10?
Right. You have to respect.
For respect, for longevity, for being so iconic. Yes.
Yeah.
And the thing that they did do is they chose a great album. This is African Herbsman.
Okay.
So this doesn't have Three Little Birds,
Buffalo
all that
Soldier.
Stuff. This is like an early collection of Jamaican recordings. So it doesn't even have an American release.
Nice.
But it's got early versions of Lively Up Yourself, Small Axe, Trenchtown Rock, which are all pretty good songs. Trenchtown Rock is a very, very good Bob Marley song.
Okay.
And then this song that I chose, which is Kaya. And this... Yep. You get your puffing in.
The tide is... Nope, not this song. Not this one.
They all, sound pretty similar.
I mean, it's happy music. I feel like we said it during Sunny, where it's just smile music, but it's just how can you not just okay, yeah, you just kind of you're in the lazy boy, you recline back, and you're okay, all right, let's get cozy. It's nice.
Yeah, it is so quintessentially stoner music, reggae and everything.
Yeah,
especially what he said right there. I'm so high, I even touch the sky. This song's just about getting fucking stoned as hell. Just good old fashioned
too. We got you kind of have to give Bob Marley, some in the list of some of the greatest singers, because that guy's just buttery voice.
100%. I say a lot of times, I'm I've heard enough Bob Marley.
Yeah.
I think I give him a lot of flack undeservedly, just because I'm so sick of 3 songs that I hear all the goddamn time.
Yeah.
And then when you hear a song like Kaya that's not over fucking played, you're I can actually appreciate this again.
Yep.
And so listening to this, it really does kind of take away the argument that it shouldn't be in the top 10. It's good. It's just good. It's Bob fucking Marley. What are you gonna do? He decorates everybody's college dorm.
And I do feel when a person really gets into weed, also starting to listen to Bob Marley kind of is hand in hand. It's kind of a rite of passage. Yeah. It's okay, you smoke, let's put on the Legend album then.
Yeah. That is a really good point, actually. It is a rite of passage.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one of the things that you do as part of the culture.
Yes.
Moving on, we are at number 8, and this album has the coolest album cover of any album that we have had so far, because it's an absolute mindfuck. This album cover is a optical illusion, and it's fucking crazy. I wonder if I can. I'll put it on the what do you call it? Social media.
Ah, yes.
And everybody will be able to see it. But Nick, that's what it looks like.
I love this album. I had a very big early 20s moment with this album.
Oh, really?
Yes, yeah. And a lot of memories of just kind of like staring at it.
Yeah, it's Animal Collective. The album is Merriweather Post Pavilion. And the album cover is it's this purple background with these green almond-shaped objects on it, and you stare at it, and it moves as you look at it. I don't know if any listener has ever done LSD, but when people in like on TV and stuff do LSD and see, a floating elephant coming by and stuff, and you're like, whoa, is that what acid is? No, it's not.
No.
Acid is like this album cover, except it happens on everything. Which is why hotel bathrooms are amazing, because hotel bathrooms always have the craziest wallpaper.
Oh, yes.
Like some terrible, shitty, weird design. And so I'd go to a show and dose at the show and have a great time, come back to the hotel and go to the bathroom and look at the fucking wallpaper, and then do the thing that you're not supposed to do, which is look in the mirror.
Oh, no. What am I? Who am I?
What even is going on?
This is what I look like? Oh my god.
Yeah, right? I'm so greasy, but really? I don't feel wet.
Look at that, like eyes. Like I have fucking eyes. Like they look at things. That's crazy. Guys, you know what I just thought of?
What? Did you think that like maybe you see colors differently than we see colors? And like what you see as green, maybe I perceive as red? Because bro, I was thinking the same thing, bro.
What? I wasn't even going to say that, but like let's talk about that now. What were you going to say? I don't remember anymore. I'm more on the colors thing now.
Animal Collective is a weird band.
Ass fucking band.
Yeah. I think you're more familiar with them than I am.
Yeah, I got super into this album. I don't even know where or how I got on to them, but got really into this album, tried to get into more, and I just couldn't do it. It gets a little too weird, and then each member has their own solo project. I know Panda Bear might be the most famous one from it. I can't believe that's a sentence I just said. I have no idea
who that is.
But it was too out there for me, and I was there was a moment where I was super into the psychedelic stuff, and this might be the moment where I was like, okay, I'm good. Let's go down another direction. This is where I stop on the psychedelia.
Well, how are you familiar? And you said you had this album. You spent a lot of time looking at it.
Yeah.
So you must be familiar. Would you say that? How often did you listen to this album? Like,
a good amount. There's a handful of songs that I listen to on repeat. But yeah, it's a good, just kind of like I said earlier, like a kind of soundscape album. Just good in the background. Yes, exactly. You don't really need to get really into it, and if you do, you might get tripped out because it gets out there.
Yeah, so you might say that listening to Animal Collective was part of your daily routine.
Yeah.
Weird sounds.
Hey, we're getting on the mic like you switching instruments and switching the settings. Yeah, keep it. Oh, okay.
It has to be part of it.
Oh, yeah, this one. This is a good choice on this one, yep.
Thank you. This was another one that was kind of tough to pick one. But the like ethereal vocals kind of like flowing through everything, and then punctuated by that like
Oh yeah, it definitely like an album where like be playing it with buddies and like no one really says anything for a couple songs, and finally like from the backseat, what the fuck are we listening to right now? Animal Collective. Yeah, do something else. I'm not into this at all.
Yeah, no, for real. Like I could see playing video games to this album.
Yup.
Just getting super high and just like zoning out on some game that doesn't have a very specific soundtrack of its own.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. All the lights
and then
off.
just this is in the background. All right, number 7. Man, I can't believe we're already at number 7.
Wow.
We have reached a band that I have a complicated relationship with. This is the band Grateful Dead. And
the Dead Man. Hell yeah, man.
I am, as everybody knows, the Fish guy.
Is this the ultimate debate of jam bands of like the Beatles and Stones, Dead or Fish?
It kind of is. It kind of is. Like in the community, even though they occupy completely different places and completely different, like the Grateful Dead kind of stopped being a thing in the early 90s. You know, Jerry Garcia died in 94. And so, you know, they've played on as like Dead and Company and Phil
Dead.
Lesh and Friends and stuff like that. But it didn't have Jerry Garcia, which was the heart of the Grateful Dead. And so after they fell apart, that's when Fish was starting to get popular. You know, Fish started in kind of the 80s, and then by the early 90s, were getting out and touring the country. And so there was a lot of resentment that these older Deadhead fans had towards the Fish fans for usurping the throne.
Yes.
So much so that a few years back, I was in Golden Gate Park in San Francisco, and I was wearing a Fish shirt, and I was accosted by some people who were like, "You're gonna wear a Fish shirt in Golden Gate Park?" And I was like, "Yeah, what are you talking about?" Giving me shit for it.
That is awesome and hilarious, and
yeah,
it was so classic.
And I was like, dude, like. I didn't want to like it was like a homeless guy, so I didn't want to like roast him and rip him apart or anything. So I was like, I mean,
I knew Jerry, man. I saw Jerry here.
It's like, okay,
yesterday.
Well, I mean, yeah, I can go home and change into a different shirt. Like, I didn't want to be a dick, but fuck him. Like,
oh my god, that reminds me of the time I was in Golden Gate Park for the Outside Lands Festival, and this guy, he rolled the fattest blunt I have ever seen in my life. Like, so girthy and long, and just he had this huge 49ers tattoo on his back. He was shirtless, of course, because he was jacked, and that's what you do.
Because he was a 49ers fan.
Exactly. And so he's like, hey, man, you want it? I was like, yeah. And so me and my buddies were hitting it and everything. He's like, hey, man, get a picture of us with the blunt, please. He's like, hell yeah. And my buddy was wearing a Dodgers hat, and the guy picks up the phone to take the picture, and he puts it down for a second and goes, no, dude, you got to take off the hat. I'm not taking this picture if you don't take off the hat. And he's like, oh, okay, whatever. Click. Awesome. Get some more people in. I was like, all right, big group photo. He's like, all right, 1, 2. Dude, what did I tell you about the hat? Take off the damn Dodgers hat. And he's like, okay, my God. And I was like, all right, there we go. Click.
I mean, that's so fucking like it's like gang mentality.
Oh, totally.
Like, you're wearing the wrong fucking colors, bro.
This is red territory, not that blue and white shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what the fuck? You're not in... Oh, my God, it's so dumb. It's literally sports teams. You know, granted, there is I would say, if you are at somebody's stadium and you are, like, you know, wearing the other colors and, like, being a dick about it.
Yeah.
Like, shitting on a team in favor of, like... But I don't... That's besides that. Why would you care?
Exactly, or like
somebody else's colors,
like just kind of like friendly hazing, you know, just being like,
exactly.
You know.
It's a friendly rivalry.
Yeah.
Literally, I was at the dispensary last week, and there was a dude in a bunch of Jaguars gear, and I'm a Seahawks fan, and the Jaguars just picked up like one of our cornerbacks and our wide receiver. And so as I saw him, I was like, oh man, you just stole our cornerback. And he's like, yeah, we got into a conversation about it, but I wasn't like, fuck you, fuck the Jaguars, fuck Jacksonville, eat my ass. I hope my cornerback fucking dies on your team, you bitch.
Hi, can I get an eighth of the mellow gold, please?
Yeah, I could have used some mellow gold. But yes, Grateful Dead.
Oh yeah, Grateful Dead.
So that is my complicated relationship. Is that happened to me one time, and so
that's hilarious.
But also, I got into Fish without ever being into Grateful Dead. So when I go back and listen to Grateful Dead, it's a little kind of like feels old fashioned and more like southern than I generally listen to, whereas Fish feels more like jazzy and funky. But the two are, I mean, you have to give props to Grateful Dead for, you know, Fish being as popular as they are. And so you can't, this is another band that you can't put a regular album onto the list. It has to be a live album. Because of, I mean, the fact that it opens with a 20-minute live song called Dark Star. And this was one that I was like, I was going to pick a song and then move it. You know, I was like, oh, I'm going to start this at like 13 minutes into this. Or I'm going to start this at like, you know, right at the end of this song to have the segue into this song and like all this, you know, extra shit. But honestly, I'm just going to play this song, which is one of my favorite Grateful Dead songs because it's the most like jam bandy, funky, rocky, like indicative of the kind of jams that I like in a band. This is the 11 off of Live Dead from San Francisco from 1960 something. I can't see where 1969. This is the 11.
Some Dead fans being like, nah, man, you should have gotten the 70 tour, this version, same place, better version, man, but whatever.
This is the kind of jams that I like. Like, this is just where there's the beat in the background, the song is happening, but they're just all playing within the structure.
Yep. They're just going.
And it's just such like a groovy, dancey thing. And I have so many amazing memories of being at jam shows and just like dancing and looking out at the crowd and seeing everybody, like all these different kinds of people, just all grooving and dancing and enjoying each other, and then like passing blunts and pipes around.
Oh yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, there's some toxicity at Fish shows, especially along the front row. But for most of the people, Fish shows are notoriously hard to get a good seat at because there's a crew of people that goes to every single show, and they like get there. Say the show starts at like 7 p.m. They'll get there at like 5 a.m. And then put like a person there, and with all of their shit, and then go back to their hotel and, you know, sleep until whatever, and then they'll like cycle people in and out to keep their spot at the very, very beginning of the line.
Oof.
And then they're like the rail riders, like they hold the rail, and so they will not. It's like their sworn solemn duty to fucking hold the line, and it becomes this like we're all soldiers in the trenches holding our spot so that we can be close to Trey Anastasio while he fucking noodles, and it's pretty toxic. And it's pretty like exclusive. But the vast majority of people are there to have a good time.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
The darker side of the Fish.
Yeah, man, super dark. It gets crazy out there, and in that darkness comes a break. Last break of the show. When we get back, we're gonna wrap up the final 6 albums of the top 40. There's only 6 left. This is. Do you have any idea what's gonna be on here? No, you don't. You're gonna find out when we get back. We are back. The doctors are in. Rome had to go. He left. He was decidedly the worst part of it. So he had to go. But we're still here, and we still have our friend Funny Times, and he's here. And we have also brought a new friend, and that friend is called Number 6 on the countdown.
Number 6.
Man, I still wish we had those. Maybe I'll make them in post. Nah,
too much work.
Yeah. Very, very, very famous band. So famous that they made their own national anthem.
Ah.
Yeah, it's Radiohead.
Oh.
Just one of the spaciest, weirdest, stoniest, druggiest sounding bands of all time. Incorporating psychedelica, fucking electronica, all the especially from this album, Kid and I had to choose. This was man. I say this for several of them. Yeah, hard to choose. But as I mentioned before, you got to be a pretty big band to make your own national anthem. And that's what they did. I think I'll probably have to put this one forward.
Oh yeah.
With that bass line. Okay, so we played it till 15. We're gonna move this to a minute.
Oh, still going on it. Still riding on that groove. Okay. Tom York, Johnny Greenwood, and the other two. Sorry. Bono, The Edge,
Radio
and the other two.
As a callback, I guess it wasn't, never mind. Radiohead got their name from a,
yes, that is.
REM song.
Wait, what? It's a Talking Heads song, isn't it?
Is it Talking Heads?
I thought it was Talking Heads.
Yeah, okay, it is Talking Heads.
I
That's
couldn't tell if you were making a joke, because that's hilarious too.
No, because, okay. Fuck me. God damn it. There's going to be no way to cut this so that I sound cool. Fuck it. You know what? Little peek behind the curtain. I fuck up sometimes. Sometimes I make a mistake, but look, you could see that the bones of what I was going to say are there, because I said as a callback, because I was going to call back to Talking Heads.
Correct.
But then I got in my own talking head, and I was like, fuck, is that wrong? Maybe it was REM. But no, it's a Talking Heads song. Of course it is. Of course it always was.
It always will be.
Radiohead got their name from a Talking Heads song. There, that's all I wanted to say. Are you happy now? This is the national anthem. I really like that song.
Yeah.
The bass line's cool and it's weird, and he's got a Tom York has a cool like a spring reverb weirdness effect on his voice that makes it sound like metallic.
It's Radiohead. I mean, there's not much more that needs to be said about them ever again, because I feel like it's all been said.
It's all been done, as the Bare Naked Ladies said. I mean, classic album, Kid A. Not my favorite Radiohead album.
Samesies.
Are you an OK Computer or In Rainbows kind of guy?
More OK Computer, but I've been the to-do list musically has been to get more into In Rainbows, so that way I can truly know the correct answer. What about for you?
In Rainbows.
Okay.
15 Step is my favorite Radiohead song.
Okay, cool.
It's very great. National Anthem, though,
right up
probably
there.
In my top 5. And, like, what a ballsy move to name your song the national anthem.
Oh, yes.
Like, straight up.
So Tom York, so British of you.
That is fair. It is the national anthem of Britain. It's not ours. But, hey, it's a national anthem. And at this point, we've moved on to the top 5.
Ooh.
Top 5 stoner albums of all time. Getting nervous. I think they did pretty good on this top 5. A couple of little surprises in here,
okay.
But I do not think this is one of the surprises. This is the Beatles,
one
of the stoniest bands of all time.
Wow,
so druggy,
yeah,
so just fun and sometimes not fun, but mostly just a good druggy time.
Yes.
Rubber Soul is
Okay.
the album that we will be talking about
Okay.
right now. Filled with some fucking weird songs like Nowhere Man, which is I don't know what it's about. It just sounds like it's about like a weird guy.
Yep.
He's a real nowhere man sitting in his nowhere land.
Classic John.
Yeah, it's
I don't know what it's
some John
about.
for you. But this was the song that I thought this song feels like they like they got high and just kind of like were in a room together and wrote these lyrics as a joke, and like we're kind of telling this funny story that is a complete hypothetical comedic thing.
Right.
This is Norwegian Wood.
Oh.
Parenthetically, this bird has flown, and it's literally about this guy who like he picks up this girl and then goes to her house, and he's like, oh, she's got a bunch of nice furniture, and then she goes to work for the day and leaves him there, and so he burns her house down. It's not good.
So good.
But it's...
And originally the song was supposed to be called Knowing She Would, and the label thought that it was like too promiscuous. And so classic Beatles were like, okay, we'll just change Knowing She Would to Norwegian Wood. I mean, it's great. You got the sitar in there. Great harmonies. I mean, yeah.
This was
deservingly
like,
in the top 5.
Mm-hmm. The combination of all the different kind of Beatles aesthetics into this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the whole album's classic.
Yeah. Yeah, You Won't See Me, I'm Looking Through You. Great songs.
And at the peak of their
John Lennon
stoniness.
said in 1972, Rubber Soul was the pot album and Revolver was the acid. The drugs are to prevent the rest of the world from crowding in on you. So even Lennon himself, in between hitting his wife and not being good, and being the most overrated member of the Beatles. Oh man, I got some hot takes today.
Whoa.
Yep.
We need a whole another episode about what the fuck you just said, but okay.
Dude, I'm a George Harrison man.
Well, same here, but to say he's the most overrated Beatle.
Well, everybody knows Ringo sucks.
Well, everybody knows
that Ringo can't play drums.
Everyone knows that Ringo is actually the most overrated Beatle.
No, but that's the thing, is he can't be overrated if everybody knows that he's overrated.
Isn't that the most overrated thing one can do?
All right, you know what, Gandalf? I'm not here to fucking solve your wizard puzzles. I'm here to get into the number 4 on this
Let's do it.
chart. I mean, you go from the Beatles and you got to change up the genre. You go to the Beastie Boys.
Ooh.
With Paul's Boutique.
Oh, nice.
It says in the article, featuring one of the juiciest bong hits ever laid to vinyl, on the song Shake Your Rump, which was not the song that I chose.
Okay.
Paul's Boutique not only has more rhymes than Jamaica's Got Mangoes, it also has more weed references than Peter Tosh had dreadlocks.
Jesus Christ. Bring it down, Rolling Stone writer.
Yeah, right. The person who wrote this really worked hard for that fucking $25 freelancing fee.
Oh my god.
But I mean, Beastie Boys is such a classic.
Yes.
Fucking group of guys. Like, it's the beginning of fucking white hip hop.
Yeah. Great sense of humors. I've never listened to this album. It's been on my another bucket list of music.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, gotta love the Beastie Boys.
Is very much like an old school hip hop album. It's so many samples and fucking genres that they just rapped over just because they're like, oh, this kind of sounds cool.
Yeah.
From funk to Bob Marley to Bob Dylan. There's so much cool stuff. And this was a really cool song on the album. This is 3 Minute Rule. I think this is a pretty Beastie Boys sounding song.
Mm.
They call me Mr. Robo when the troubles arise. You know I'm the cool cobra on the score.
That is, dude, Beastie Boys. I mean, yo, but so good. Like,
Exactly. I'm gonna put my old man sweater, my slacks on, and say they just don't make hip hop like this anymore.
it's true. It's true.
Oh, great use of the record too. It's just like scratching it right on with it, and just it almost sounds like cliche hip hop, where like if you're like trying to make like the most like typical hip hop type of song, like it would like have kind of like this like drum kick with the record scratching and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. And in this song, there's a line that says, "I smoke Chiba. It helps me with my brain. I might be a little dusted, but I'm not insane." And it was that line alone that put this song on on the lineup. I was like, yeah, that's the one. Because I mean, Beastie Boys is always gonna sound fucking like Beastie Boys, you know. They're that fucking high pitched nasally three Jewish guys like doing fucking dope ass hip hop music. But I mean, in the time that they were popular, not popular because they're still popular, but the time when they were still making music and stuff like that, like that was when I just feel like that was blunt season.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like the 90s, the early 90s, just like hip hop scene. Just I think that's when people just started. I don't know. I maybe I'm wrong, but I have this image in my brain of like the 90s being the time where people started smoking weed outside. Like I feel like in the 70s and 80s it was more like low. You had to kind of keep it more low key, and then the 90s happened, and everyone was just like smoking blunts outside now.
I love it.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I was born in '89.
We need to check with some historians because I'd like to get a confirmation on this. Do some research, some backstories of what was going on.
The first episode ever that we actually do research on.
Not going to start now.
No, couldn't. Top 3, number 3 on here, and I could not agree more. I mean, Pink Floyd.
Okay, I was wondering if we were going to get some Floyd on here, or if that's too more acidy rather than stony.
I mean, but you kind of think that, but the truth, like, Pink Floyd was never a drug band. They were like, Syd Barrett was the drug guy.
Yeah, that's true.
Know?
Yeah.
Pink Floyd. I mean, David Gilmour has said like we weren't like a drug band. Like we didn't get high and make a bunch of music. It was like about our life, or about, you know, things that we thought of or stories we wanted to tell and stuff like that. But
the music just makes you
blows
want to
my
do drugs.
mind. Exactly. From the cover of this album, Dark Side of the Moon. From the cover, the prism, that triangle that is emblazoned on fucking 10 billion shirts worldwide.
Oh yeah. It's the poster next to the Bob Marley poster in many college dorms.
Exactly. Like, they've got the Bob Marley poster on one side, and then the black light Dark Side of the Moon on the other, where it glows.
And the other wall is the Blow poster of Johnny Depp counting the stacks of cash.
And this was, man, another one that there were a few songs I could have chosen from.
Yeah. This is a hard one.
Time is on here.
You
know, I thought about that. Money is on here. I thought about that.
Great Gig in the Sky.
I mean, there's a lot of very, very fucking Money, especially has been probably smoked to more times than any other Pink Floyd song.
Oh yeah.
It's just so funky and everything, but it's not my favorite Pink Floyd song. I don't think it's like super indicative of the druggy side of Pink Floyd. So I chose Breathe in the Air. Because you got to breathe in the smoke too. And this is a song that you just fucking chill to.
It's like, I'm freaking out, man. I'm freaking out. Like, hold on. Let me just put this on for you. Now just sit back, man. It's okay.
that perfect, like Richard Wright doing that keyboard just like bloop, bloop, bloop. It's just like so perfectly placed, everything. The David Gilmour's like ethereal guitar just floating through.
Yeah. And Roger Waters, you can just hear him being a fucking asshole.
I was just gonna say something like that.
Through the bass playing. Oh.
And then Nick Mason doing the same thing he always does. But I mean, this is the soundtrack to the inside of your mind when you're high.
Oh my gosh, totally. Like this is, I feel like this is what I'm listening to whenever like someone's like Nick. It's like what? Oh god. It's like that's what was happening. Just like this song. And I'm in space when this is going on. I mean, come on, how are you not just like an astronaut? Just like got the cord to the space shuttle, but you're just getting your like 20 minutes out in the space, and you're just like, yeah.
I'm even letting this go long. I don't even give a fuck. I just love this so much. Yeah. That's a good song.
Yeah.
There's a reason that that certain music sticks around for as long as it does. And especially, it's crazy because that song's not complex, and it's not like a breakthrough or something that's never been done before, but it's just done so perfectly and produced so perfectly, and the from the voices to the way that they're playing. I mean, it's just such a calming, floating song. That song feels like floating.
Totally. And I would love to meet the Pink Floyd fan who's like, oh, loved him when Sid Barrett was in the band. When David got in, lost me, honestly. Don't really get the whole thing about the wall and Dark Side. Yeah, give me more of the pipers at the dawn. Yeah, that's what I'm about,
I want to hear more
man.
about your bike.
More bikes, less space and breathing.
Number 2 is, I think this is the surprise.
Okay.
I think this is the surprise of the top 5. I think that this is a band I wasn't familiar with, and really knew nothing about. And then I listened to it and I was like, yeah, this is pretty stony fucking music. And I this is my favorite song on the album. Not all of them are my favorite song on the album. They're kind of ones I chose. But as I was listening through this LP, this is my favorite song on the album. This is Portishead.
And is that how you pronounce it?
Dummy. Yeah.
Oh, I never know if it was Portishead or Portishead.
I think this is your Kios.
Kiosk?
Kios. Not Caius. Kios.
Kios.
Yeah, I do you ever listen to them, or have you seen the name?
I'm aware that they are a popular band, and never really have tried to get into them.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of on the same wavelength as you. Just kind of one of those things that's always floated around the periphery of my musical knowledge. But wow, is it good?
Okay.
On the article it says, this noirish 94 LP sounds especially good around 420 because few producers have paid such obsessive attention to detail as Portishead's Jeff Barrow. Vocalist Beth Gibbons' Cold Water Siren songs could induce melancholic inner gazing. So there's your fucking 5-cent writers at work again. But that the phrase paying such obsessive attention to detail, it kind of rings true with this, because this sounds like everything is very, very intentional on this track. This is Wandering Star. And it's a weird kind of... This is when, in the 90s, when they started wanting to fuse all the genres.
Okay.
So you get that, like, almost Deftones, like, deep bass kind of stuff, and then you get that almost hip-hop drum beat kind of stuff.
With Enya singing.
Yeah, exactly. It reminds me of My Bloody Valentine almost, with that, like, the vocals are just beneath the surface.
Yeah.
Wandering stars, for whom is reserved the blackness, the darkness.
This is another song that would be perfect in a movie.
Yeah, definitely. Something dark's happening. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm very, very, very into this song.
This
In
is
fact, I
cool.
waited till now to do this, but I'm going to put this right into the playlist. Oh,
This is
never
almost
mind.
like
It's
pre-trip
already
hop.
in the playlist. Yeah, it is. It's very trip hoppy. Yeah, when I heard that, I
Interesting.
was like, oh, what the fuck? This is good.
Might need to look into them a little bit more.
Yeah, right.
Huh. And that was number 2?
That was number 2.
Oh my
Nick, are you
goodness.
ready?
All right. Here we go.
According to
Drum
Rolling
roll.
Stone, out of all music, they listed 40 greatest stoner albums, and this is the one that they have determined as the greatest stoner album of all time.
Okay.
I would agree that this has probably had so much weed smoke to it, and it is joining the club of posters that are on dorm room walls.
Ah.
This is Jimi Hendrix Experience Axis, Bold as Love.
Oh, okay. Yes, many posters of this, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Indian gods, the Hindu
Yeah.
gods all spread out, and Jimmy in the middle like that with his band
Yeah.
behind him.
I once was in Portland and I saw a little like postcard with that cover, but instead of Jimmy, it was Bill Murray.
I feel like Jimi Hendrix would approve of that.
Oh, 100%. Interesting. I bet a lot of joints were rolled on the sleeve of Axis Bold as Love through history.
Yes.
A lot of weed residue in the cracks.
Yeah, this is one of those things that I imagine is emblazoned on many a rolling tray.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Interesting. Okay. All right. I mean, I can't.
Before we get into it,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on that? Like, do you agree that you think are you familiar with this album? First of all,
Yeah. I mean, not super duper, but like, I am aware it's a great album. Wow. I don't. It's just. I think this is the thing. No matter what the number one album was, it's just going to be a high praise to say that this is the stoniest album of all time, because obviously,
Yeah.
Everyone sees it differently. I probably would have put The Chronic up a lot higher along with Wu-Tang Clan. But that's just me, probably from where I grew up and everything. But
well, I also think that
it's
Rolling
Jimmy.
Stone is more rock
Yes.
oriented.
Oh yeah. Yes, very much so. But I mean, it's Jimmy. I mean, druggy as hell, acid tabs in the
Yeah.
headband. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't beat it.
I mean, exactly. It's I can't say it any better than that, man. Like you hit the nail on the head. I don't know that it's that I think this is necessarily the stoniest album of all time. Like it doesn't, maybe because it doesn't reference it specifically. But what with like the time that it was, that it took place in,
Yeah.
the late 60s being such a fucking stony time, and this being an album that has probably been on in the background of so many goddamn stoner hangout sessions since the fucking 70s, and it just has so much staying power. And Jimmy is, I mean, he will always be one of the greatest guitarists of all fucking time. And but this one was easy to choose from because it has one of my favorite Hendrix songs of all time, "Bold as Love."
Ah, yes.
I fucking love this song, and I think it's the perfect way to wrap this up. And so I'm just gonna
we might be missing on this list. No Willie?
Yeah, right? So there are arguments to be made for other things. And if anybody listening, if you think that you have a better list, or you think that Rolling Stone fucked up and you want to tell us what you think the top, in fact, everybody, please send in what you think the top stoner album of all time is. And if we get a decent list, we will talk about it on the show.
Yes.
That's the thing, man. Anything that you want us to talk about, we'll talk about. Just tell us.
Get in it.
We'll get in it. But this, I think, was a really fun thing to do to celebrate today.
This was awesome.
Right? Just getting high with a friend and listening to some dope fucking music. What more could you ask for? But that's it. I mean, that's today's 420. So, if you listened to both of them today, fucking, you deserve a medal.
Yes.
Because you made it through fucking 4 hours of our voices.
What have you been doing today? Getting high, man.
Perfect. All right. Well, Nick, you got anything you want to plug before we head out?
Just be safe and have a good time today, everybody. That's what I want to plug. Safety. Hydrate.
Yes, hydrate. And don't drive unless you got to drive to the store or somewhere else, in which case, hey, you got to do what you got to do. I will be going on tour. Rick is on tour. I will be in the Bay Area of California. So if you live in the Bay Area, come out and see me. Come say hi. I will be all over the place. I'll be in Santa Rosa. I'll be in San Jose. I'll be in Santa Rosa again, San Rafael. I'm going all over the place, man.
If it's got San or Santa, he gonna be there.
Yeah, this is the Santa tour. But yeah, come see me. Come say hi. I'll be on tour from the 21st, April 21st, so tomorrow, through May 5th. So come see a boy. Also, go on YouTube and go watch my episode of Man Up with Theo Vaughn, and then go on Netflix and watch Bad Trip with Eric Andre. That's all my plugs.
Boom, boom, pow.
Yeah, man. Thank you for listening to the show, and as always, give us a follow on Instagram or Twitter at SpinDocPod, or shoot us an email and tell us why we're great or terrible. SpinDoctorsPod@gmail.com. As always, I have been Rick.
I have been Nick.
And we hope you enjoy your cannabis! Happy 420, everybody. Is there anything more disgusting than the floor of a public restroom?
Oh, God. Especially when it's like, there's a puddle in there and you're like, and it's like by the urinal. You're like, please let this just be like a water leak. Please don't let this be.
Never.
I'm almost positive it is.
Never is it a water leak. There's nowhere for the water to leak from where that water is. That water is never like in a place that's next to a water outlet.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Always like...
By the toilet.
Why do they make like it concave in front of the toilet? Like,
It always
do
does
that?
too. No public restroom is a flat surface like time.
Honestly, make it convex. Like make like a little thing so that anything
that way
falls
it just
off into drains.
More drains in there.
More drains. When I'm president, more drains.
We're going to drain the swamp. You know why? Because I'm putting in more drains.
Less swamp, more drain.